crease, and I'm going to reach in without going over my sterile glove, open it up, and on one side, I'm just pulling this on. One side, I'm going to give this a little crease. On this side, I'm going to give this a little crease. Why I'm doing that is to keep the papers down. Because if I let go, and this comes back over top of my sterile field, what happens? Why? Yeah, I touched it. I touched it right here. So if this comes back over where I touched, back over top of the glove, that's contaminated. So got to make sure when you let go, it's going to stay down. So I keep my hand here because if it started rising up, you can grab it, put it down again. But if you give this a little crease, it should stay for you nicely. So paper's all down. I've not reached over. This is kind of folded up. And I want to get this down because what happens if you leave this up, when you go to pull out your glove, many times people will drag their fingers across this piece of paper that's sticking up. And obviously it's contaminated because we consider this 1 1/4 to be not sterile. So make sure that it is down as well. All right, the first thing I'm going to do then is to reach in, and I'm going to put these on the right side. I'm going to reach in, I'm going to get my glove where it's my dominant hand. So I'm going to don my dominant hand first. I am over top of the cuff, so this part I'm contaminating, but why do you think that's okay? Yeah, it's going on my wrist. So I'm going to pick this up, and I'm going to step back, I'm going to get away from my table. Another thing that people commonly do that is wrong is they start going like this, putting their glove on over top of their sterile field. I don't want to do that. So you're going to go in, this over top of my cuff, I'm pinching, I'm going to lift up and step back. Then I'm just going to put my hand in, put this glove on. If you don't get all the fingers in the right hole, that's okay. You can fix it later. And obviously I should have a different shirt on, something up here so I can get these cuts on right. Next then, this is sterile. I'm going to reach in and get my sterile glove. Now this one, instead of pinching, I'm going to scoop. So I'm going to come in and put my fingers underneath here. Now another problem people do is go like this. If I bend my arm like this over top of my sterile glove, I'm contaminating this part, and that's going against my skin, but if I touch with my sterile glove here, to go put it on, I'm contaminating it. Does that make sense? So when you go in, kind of go flat, put your fingers in, and then you're going to turn it over. Again, you're going to step back. And you want to make sure you have a hitchhiker's thumb so that you don't accidentally contaminate this thumb putting this glove on. Because a lot of times people will go like this and drag this hand up their non-sterile hand and contaminate. So save yourself some headaches, put your thumb out here. Get your fingers up, thumb out, hand in. Gloves on, fingers aren't in the right hole, but that's okay because my sterile glove is going to be sterile. And so I can fix my fingers if I need to. Gloves are on. I want to make sure that I go down to each finger, pulling it tightly so that my fingertips are at the edge of the glove. This will be particularly important, especially when you're doing catheterization because you'll be cleaning the native of the male or female. If your glove, for example, hits the patient's skin, you've contaminated that glove. You won't feel it if you've just got fingertips here of glove, because there's no feeling in there. But if you've got your fingertips clear to the end, then you'll be able to feel, oh, I just contaminated glove. Okay? Any questions?
Can you repeat it one more time?
Yes, I will. Sometimes people have trouble with gloves rolling, and depends upon where it starts to roll, whether or not that's going to be a problem. So if I put this on, usually the first glove goes on pretty nicely. Let's just say this goes on. If I go to put this one on, and my glove starts to roll down here. It just kind of rolls. Do you understand what I'm saying when it's rolling? So the outside's touching and touching my skin, and it just keeps rolling. Is that contaminated? Yeah, so make sure you verbalize all my gloves that's rolled, and they're going to say, okay, what are you going to do about that? Yeah, get a new pair of gloves. So make sure you identify. You get two self-press for putting these gloves on. So if you contaminate something, just verbalize it to the instructor, you're going to do it again. So you can, basically, once you identify it, you can do it 2 times, and then a third break you would have to come. But this is a pretty successful set-off. Okay, so for Sterile Gloving, wash my hands, check my integrity of my package, date, lot number, make sure it's not open, and I'm going to open it, take my inner package out, open up my package. I'm going to start by opening the bottom end, giving it a little crease to keep it down, hopefully. Then come to the top, give this a little crease. And I'm just creasing, I'm not turning this over like that, okay? Just everything's still up, just giving it a little crease. Grab the inner layers without going over top of my sterile gloves or sterile heels. And then I'm going to pull it taut and crease it again. That one's kind of flipped up, so I don't want to drag my fingers across it, so I'm going to try to put that down. Then I'll reach in without going over top of this glove, not doing this. I'm just reaching in over top of the first glove, pinching it, pick it up, step back. Put the first glove on. Did not roll, but if it started to roll, start rolling on my hand, palm, whatever I need to tell somebody. I am going to fix this. Then, dominant hand is glove. I'm going to go in and scoop this time, the second glove, putting my fingers in, but I'm only going over top. Sterile glove is over sterile glove. Flip it over, going to get away from the field. Hitchhiker thumb out. Next piece coming in. I can try to get my fingers in the right holes, or I'm just going to get it in, be done. Actually, my fingers will get in the right holes. But if they didn't, I could switch, alter, and then I would pull each glove down so that it is at the tip of my fingers. And now I'm sterile. I would leave it on. Yep. With sterile gloves, you want to make sure that everything remains above your waist. So if I go like this, that's contaminated. I make sure everything's here. I was telling my clinical group the other day, elbows. Put your elbows in your side so you know exactly where they are. And when you're setting up sterile fields, it will not allow you to reach over top of a sterile field, because if you go like this to grab something and this part goes over top, it's contaminated. You can't do that when your elbows are tucked in your side. There's no way that you can reach over. Okay, so just kind of put that in the back of your mind. Stacy, tell them about sterile techniques, what you guys learned in Lon.
Like what we witnessed?
What you witnessed.
Okay. We were watching a C-section, and the nurse went to put in a Foley. First time she got it out, she had a break-in technique because she accidentally touched the woman's leg. So the doctor saw it, and she's like, get a new one. So she gets a new one. She has it out, ready to put it in. It hits her jacket, and she was going to continue to put it in, but the doctor was like, so when you do that, get a new one. So she goes, gets another kit, and she sticks it in. At least we think it's in. And then after they're about to finish like stapling the woman up after the surgery, after the baby's been delivered and everything, the Dr. Barnhart was like, I don't feel the bulb. So they're like, check to see if the catheter's in. And there was also blood, which there should have been urine in the specimen thing.
Basically, though, the whole thing
Yeah.
here is that 2 contaminations happen. right away with the thigh and the jacket. So make sure that you take accountability for checking your sterility. And if you know that you contaminate something, always be aware of contamination so that you can correct it. Because, you know, we touch a thigh, we touch something else, a sheet, when we're doing something, and that just adds to a risk for that patient getting a hospital-acquired infection, which we know that's a big risk for somebody being hospitalized is that they're going to get an infection. We don't want to be responsible for that. So take accountability, watch for those things, so that you can correct it if needed. To take gloves off, how we do that? You learned it last quarter? Yeah. Glove to glove and skin to skin. So here's my glove. I'm going to go underneath the glove to take them off, and that's it. Simple. When you practice these today, I would ask that you just do it one time in lab at least. Just let us, you know, kind of be there watching you or have somebody else watching you just to make sure that you are doing it correctly so that you feel comfortable.